Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Aligning Life and Wealth series, where we're making money mean more by aligning it with aspects of life that actually matter most. We're interviewing what I like to call our life experts, from health and leisure to home security. Their services have a great impact on the lives of many. I'm Michael Conway, President and CEO of Conway Wealth. And today I'm excited to introduce to you Andrew Macafee, CEO of WhereToStay.com. Hello, Andrew, and welcome. Looking forward to chatting today.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's good to see you. It's good to see you. I wanted to start out with a story about a recent trip that I had with my wife when we used your company, WhereToStay. We went to a Caribbean island. It was a fabulous trip, but it turned out the first villa that we stayed in, that there was a little bit of an issue with it. And we weren't quite sure what to do. I didn't bother you with it, but we contacted the company. And I got to tell you, the team handled it. It was a 10 out of 10. They moved us to another villa, which was actually a little bit nicer than the first one. And they comped us for the first night that we spent in the original villa. But it was just a great experience because on our own, we would have been floundering. Where do we go? What do we do? So it was quite a compliment to your team for sure.
That is great to hear. I did hear about this after it happened. And the thing that I was proud of from our company's perspective is they didn't know who you were. So
Okay.
to them, you were just one of our clients, and they react quickly. And that's really the value that we provide, both pre, during, and post. But really pre and during, we have so many connections in the islands and locations in Europe that we can solve problems. We can solve them quickly. And the goal of our pre-arrival is that everything is completely arranged before you arrive. And then when you're there, you have a contact. You're not sitting on your own in a foreign country and don't know what to do when something happens. So I'm great. I'm glad we reacted well.
Yes, it was perfect. I was actually warning my wife. I said, I'm assuming they're good, but I don't know how this is going to play out. We may be stuck with the situation or not. I don't know, but it was such a relief. You're trying to enjoy your trip. So anyway, that was kudos to you and your team for sure. Yeah. So let's back up. So tell us a little bit about WhereToStay and what you do.
Yeah. So WhereToStay is about 30 years old. It was started by a couple of friends of mine at the very precipice, if that's the right word, of the internet. So he was involved in, I think, the Olympics, and they created something called a website that nobody even understood what it was. And then he started just making his own Caribbean website. And what we did was then I joined 27 years ago. And right at that time, our site was a hotel review site. And we happened to go and stay at a private home. Completely decided to change our business plan. Said, this is the way to go. And so for the last 25 years, we have been building a reputation and a network in the Caribbean. And we have just under 2,000 private homes in the Caribbean now that we represent. And then a couple of years ago, we bought a company and launched in Europe. And now we have several thousand European options as well. But the idea of WhereToStay is to be much, much, much more than a villa rental company.
Sure.
We work with you pre-arrival, and that's very important. And then during the stay, we have a team in the location that you're going to that is there and available if things switch and change.
Sure. One of the other things I love about it, and I've used your company for years personally, as I said, it also helps with picking the villa to begin with, because Yeah, no, 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 you don't wanna use that one. They don't have air conditioning in the main
Right,
room, or
right.
it's next to a swamp,
Yeah,
or they're doing construction next door, and you're gonna get there, and it's gonna be a big problem,
yeah.
so you get steered away, so that's a big help.
That's dead on, and we create regional specialists. And believe it or not, I still sell one island because I'm in love with it, called
Which one is
Turks and
that?
Caicos is how I started this business.
Okay.
My friend sent me down there, that same guy that started Where to Stay, and I couldn't believe that you could sit on a completely isolated beach so close to Miami. And so I still do. I literally do requests for that island. But we have regional specialists. So this is exactly what you're talking about. They've been in the villas. They know the area. They know the people to ask. A very good example is chef service. So chef service is like buying a car. You can buy a really good, reliable car, or you can buy a dodgy car. And
Mhm.
so we have that's just one example of where we can say these are the six chefs that we want you to choose from, and he's available on these nights. So it's having the person that understands and knows that island or that location is very important to having a seamless experience without something bad happening on the most important week of your life, which is your
Yes.
holiday week, or 2
Ugh.
weeks if you're European.
Yeah, and all the planning that goes into it, and when
Yes.
something goes wrong and you have a bad meal or whatever. So tell us more. So that's what I was just about to ask. So what type of experiences chefs, what other types of experiences can
Over
you
the
think of
years,
that we
we
can
we have arranged anything and everything. Obviously, all the standard stuff. So rental cars, transfers to the villa, chef service, maid service, butler service, all that stuff. It sometimes that is included within a villa.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's additional, but either way, we can handle it. And then we pride ourselves on being able to achieve pretty well anything that you want within
Okay.
reason. The
Yes,
one
okay.
thing that is difficult, especially with guys that are high net worth and they're used to people saying yes, is the pre-arrival concierge. We match once you commit to a villa, we match you up with a pre-arrival concierge who will do everything they can to pre-plan everything they can with you or your family. And that's really important because on some of these islands, it's just not easy to wake up on a Tuesday and say, I want a 40-foot yacht at 2 o'clock this afternoon.
Sure.
So we really see greatest success in the pre-planning, but we can arrange so many things.
Yeah, any wellness stuff?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So every single location we have, from my knowledge, and it's certainly in the Caribbean, there's wellness, there's yoga. We usually, and it depends on each region, right?
Sure.
So I in Turks have a lot of connections where I could have a lady that could come over and do a really specific yoga with you in your villa. Other regions may not be so available, but absolutely, yeah,
Yeah, fun
absolutely.
stuff. How about airport transfers and car rentals?
All
Do you have
standard. Yeah, all standard, and every location we have, we provide that service. One of the funny ones, I was thinking about this today. We did a huge 60th birthday. I won't tell you, it was a gentleman who owns one of the NBA teams
okay.
in US, and he was
So
having
we
a
so we know that so it's not me.
no, it's not you. And they decide they want fireworks
Of course.
on Turks.
There you
So
go.
we priced it out. We got arranged. About a week before, they said we don't want fireworks. It's too much. It's not that he doesn't want the fireworks. Well, Elon Musk launched a SpaceX. I don't know if you remember this. It was last year. He launched a SpaceX rocket, and it exploded over Turks and
Oh
Caicos.
my goodness, yeah.
And the client's the video, I think, went viral, and it was this massive fireworks show.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I saw this. I wrote an email to the client going, "Listen, we called Elon Musk and
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
fireworks."
you guys really do it all. Um, how about, let's see on my list here, daily housekeeping, grocery stocking, those types of things?
Absolutely, all standard.
Okay.
Some villas have maids. They come with the villa. If they don't, we can easily arrange it. Pre-stocking is something we do for most every villa, unless there are some ladies that like to do their own shopping and enjoy the difference. I actually love it because all the products are British. This is where I came from originally. A lot of the stuff.
Yes.
So if you want to do that, we'll help you arrange that when you arrive. But most people pre-stock.
We have to check out I haven't done villas in the Turks, but we love getting our own villa and the privacy and having a chef in. It's just such an intimate experience and not
Yes.
have to be where you're at a pool with hundreds of
Yeah.
other guests and
I think
yeah.
the world's finding that out. I
Yeah.
really do. And even hotels are building villas. So we have
Yes. Yeah,
quite a
yeah.
few of those options now where the hotel side is actually buying land around their hotel and they're building villas. Turks is a great example of that. And there's just nothing quite like it.
Well,
It
because of the types of experiences that you're doing with housekeeping, with chefs, with stocking food, you get the best of both worlds. You get the privacy of your own place that you can hang out as a family, um, and a lot of the things that you would get at a resort. So,
Absolutely.
yeah,
And,
it's a great combo.
anything you can get at a resort, we can arrange to come to your villa, essentially. And I think the biggest thing people I love looking at our reviews, and you're welcome to go do that. It's on our homepage. There's a link at the bottom, but 98, 99% of the time, especially first timers, they come back just saying this was so relaxing. This was exactly what we needed as a family. And I believe in that with all my heart, that family time once a year as your kids grow up and is just a fantastic thing that you can't replace. It's
And
and you don't get that in a hotel because they're maybe in the room beside you, they're off, and suddenly you're sitting in a hotel room going this. And the other thing in the Caribbean, which is what we specialize in, hotels are incredibly expensive. So if,
And you don't have that communal area.
no,
You don't have the living room to go play games or do puzzles at night or whatever so it's, can you think of it? That was an amazing, the rocket story. Can you give us and our listeners, any other stories about fun excursions? Obviously fishing and, but
all
scuba
sorts
diving.
of, if people are into diving, we have very good context for that. I'm scared to dive, but snorkeling trips,
Sure.
jet ski, again, it depends on the island and the region. There's these
Okay.
really cool little mini motorboats on Turks on my island that I love to send people out on. It's like a little
Okay.
tiny 2-seater motorboat that you can fly around on. And
What
then
are your most as you've mentioned, so you handle Turks, but tell the listeners what are the I don't know top 7 or 8 islands
yeah,
that right
so and
because
I handle part of Turks. I don't
okay
handle all our Turks requests,
okay
but we love Turks and Caicos.
yep
We love St. John.
hmm
And St. John is a little U.S. Virgin Islands for people that don't want to go outside the United States. They fly into St. Thomas, and there's a ferry that we take you over to St. John. Love that.
yes
We actually,
we actually did that with you guys during COVID
yeah,
because
really.
yeah so
That's interesting. Yeah,
yeah
I can't. COVID was interesting because different islands had different.
yeah so it was a U.S. territory so it was
Yeah,
easier then
of
right
course,
yeah
of
yeah
course. Yeah, we love the BVI's. That's a little bit more difficult to get to.
hmm
Obviously, St. Bart's is a big island for us,
sure
and we have a huge, pretty well every villa we want on that island. The new island that I'm really excited about, and more people are going to, is St. Martin.
okay
So, when you flew in, was the new airport
yeah
was that a
yeah
much better experience?
Oh, much better
Yeah,
experience. It used to be back in the day, it was nothing.
it
Now
was
now it's
awful.
it was
It
terrible
actually
now.
steal your holiday if it's just an awful in and then out. So
Yeah,
they had a hurricane that came through 5 or 6 years ago.
yeah,
And not only is the airport completely revamped, but pretty well every villa on the island is refurbished. So
okay.
that is one that I really tell people, go try it. we always keep people on the French side, not huge fans of the Dutch side, but there's 2 or 3 areas that we love and we push people towards that.
Okay.
And then Cayman is a very important island for us. People love it. It's a little reefy, less
Yes.
pure sand. So some people don't like that. So we're very upfront about that with all our guests, but very reasonable, pretty easy to get to. That's the other factor. So in the
Okay.
Caribbean, those would be the ones that we push.
Okay.
But you have people that say, I want to go to St. Lucia. And St. Lucia is a very different, lush, tropical experience. Not for me, because I'm a beach bum, but for someone that wants that uh, that rainforest kind of experience, St. Lucia's an amazing place, very inexpensive.
Yeah. Andrew, what's the number one thing people get wrong when it comes to travel planning or trips like this?
Yeah,
What do people
I
miss?
think the advice that I give people is to plan early and often with our pre-arrival concierge, because people that are very busy that don't plan things, it's more difficult to get what you really want at the end of the day. So that would be the first thing. And those that take the time months ahead. So we are booking chefs a year in advance, the
Mm,
ones we want. So if you come 2 weeks before and go, we need a chef Thursday night, we'll do our best, but it won't be those top guys. So
gotcha.
pre-planning is very important. The other thing that I always harp on is travel insurance. And the only reason why I say that is because I've had 30 years experience and I've had 3 pretty, and I don't care about the cancellation of the villa or so much. I want, if one of our clients gets hurt, I want them to be able to be care flighted off the island.
Yes.
I've done it 3 times on Turks, and twice they had travel insurance and it was free.
Mm.
Once the guy didn't, and it was $70,000, $80,000.
It's a big ticket item when you get
Big,
hurt and you need to be flown to Miami or
yes,
wherever.
yes,
It's yeah. So we, at your advice, we do get it for sure. Um, do you ever help? And I imagine you do, but folks plan trips around uh, concerts or festivals or regalias or whatever.
yes. We do. In the Caribbean, there are some that are wonderful and some that are a little tacky.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
there's 2 sides of it. One client I might say, these are the 2 weeks you do not want to go to this island.
Sure.
And then there are regattas, which I'm sure you're familiar with, on St. Bart's and
Yes. It.
Antigua, big
Hmm.
regatta.
Yes.
And there's a wonderful festival in Barbados, and that is an island I forgot to say. That's one of our top islands as well.
Okay.
Barbados, phenomenal place. And they have a festival called Crop Over in August, which is a 2-week festival, and everybody's in a good mood. And everybody is just, it's quite unique. That's so highly recommend that. And then there are kind of weekly festivals that it depends which island. Like, so Turks and Caicos, for example, used to have a fish fry on a Friday night. And it was on the beach and it was really cool, but it's got a bit touristy.
Mm,
And again, here is the insider knowledge, right? I don't really recommend people go to that anymore. They've taken it off the beach. It's now very commercial, and I tell people just to avoid it.
yeah. Selling
So,
T-shirts and
yeah, and just the food, who knows if it's cooked correctly, and stuff like that. You just wonder.
yes.
So I would say festivals. There's a jazz festival in St. Lucia that we have people go to every year. Wouldn't be
Okay.
my cup of tea,
Yeah.
but very popular. It's probably the biggest thing they do in that island during the year. So
So um, I asked you before about mistakes people make. I know family members and friends that do what they book something last minute and they basically go, they close their eye, they go to a map and they, I don't know, we want to go away in a month and they pick some place and it's the wrong time to be on the island or it's in a hotel that is not that great and poor views. Um, and they really miss out on a wonderful experience. So a
uh,
little planning and using a team like you guys,
and I always say,
and
for guys that are doing well and have the blessing to be able to go on a trip like we can provide, that week is the most important week of your year, I
Yeah,
would hope.
it's
So
amazing.
why would you, why would you risk doing that? We have so many. I'm not. There are companies that you can just rent a villa or a house, okay, and that can be a phenomenal success, or it can be a nightmare. And it's why risk that week? That's what I
Um,
tell people.
I will again, from personal experience, but showing up at a place you know is gonna be great with a refrigerator that's stocked with whatever type of beer you want or or whatever
Yeah.
food you want for breakfast, and it's just, it's a special experience for sure. What's your favorite time of year at a few of these select locations? Any time in particular? Do we not go in the summer? Do we
Well, that's interesting. So, the Caribbean's high season is December through April. People don't realize that. They think the high season is in the summer holidays, but no. The East Coast is the predominant client for the Caribbean in high season because it's freezing, so they
Mhm.
want to get out of the cold weather and get some sun for a month. So it depends on your desire. I always love people to go in kind of like May, June is a great time to go. And the reason why is it goes from high season rates to low season rates, which are significant. There's really just two
It's
ranging.
big. It's a big drop. It's
It's a big drop.
unbelievable. Like, it goes off a cliff, right? It
Yeah,
cuts, a third to sometimes a half
easily.
or what
Yeah,
yeah.
depending on the owner. And
Yep.
and and if you're clever and you can get those first couple of weeks of low season,
Mm.
and you have to do it pretty quickly, about a year in advance. But you do that, you can get the best weather. It may still be a little chilly up on the East Coast, so you're going out of chilly into, or at least sort of, it's not your summer. So we find that come June, then it kind of changes to family. The kids are off school clients rather than clients that don't have those young children. So I
Gotcha.
would say that's a great time. Also, not this is my opinion, but people want to go Christmas and New Year. It's because the kids are off. But then the prices double from the high season rate and sometimes treble, and the place is packed.
Bumper to
Right?
bumper, and
Uh, uh,
I've seen pictures. I have no interest. It is double or even triple the cost, and
right.
the islands are packed. So it's yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
if you can manage it, there's that week when the kids will be off for 4 or 5 of those days
Yep.
that's before high season, that's still in low season. That's a
Okay.
great week to go.
There you go. There you go. All right, this has been awesome. If we could, let's wrap with what is your number one piece of advice when it comes to traveling or trip planning abroad?
Do it in plenty of time.
Yes, okay.
Don't rush into it because then you get great choice and then you get the ability for us to help you. Help me help
Help
you.
you. Yeah, I
That's
gotcha.
my biggest advice.
I gotcha. I gotcha. Well, listen, this is great. I use your service and I have for years and years, so it's just wonderful. So appreciate your time today. Thanks for joining us, and hope to see you soon.
Yes, sir. Happy to help anybody, any of your clients, or you're welcome to call me personally.
There you go.
And I'll connect with you or any of our staff.
All right, Andrew. Thanks a million. Appreciate you coming today.
Pleasure.
Okay. Thank you for joining the Aligning Life and Wealth series and for the impact you're creating by allowing people to best align their life and wealth through travel and leisure. You can find this video along with the rest of our Aligning Life and Wealth series on YouTube, LinkedIn, X, and Facebook.